Today's a very special day. We have a special service planned. The culmination of a 3-week experiment in prosperity and abundance, and probably just the beginning of our experiment, but at least we're scratching the surface. And it's been an amazing blessing for all of us who've participated in whatever regard. I think the greatest witness to this process was from Wes. I asked him to be one of our speakers today. He says, well, I haven't really been doing it. I did it for the first week, but I've gotten so much consulting work, I haven't been able to do it. So he wrote me back an email and he says, it just dawned on me, probably because I was doing it, I got all the consulting work. So he's with us in spirit. And he's busy reaping the benefits. And I'm so grateful. So we have 4 people who are going to come up from our congregation, from our community, and speak to you today. And they are Bruce O'Hara, Teresa Lon, Liliana, my wife, and Oriana over there. So without any further ado, let's just bring them up.
Tony talked to me earlier this week. Actually, we played phone tag back and forth, but I got the gist of it, which was wanted to talk about prosperity. And I purposely said, okay, don't plan anything, just roll with it. And all these little things come to mind. I picked up the pamphlet thing that we handed out a couple of weeks ago. I found myself repeating that one affirmation in there, which says, I step into the divine flow of God's infinite abundance, or something very close to that. But that's what I changed it to. Started repeating that, and some of the other affirmations in there. I didn't think anything about it, but it depends on what you consider to be, Marlon, what good distance you between prosperity and abundance. And I actually liken the two because I've met a lot of people that are quite prosperous who have no abundance. They do not enjoy their life to speak of. They're unhappy all the time. Well, I've been saying that affirmation, and I thought, well, what's going to come my way now? All right. So I went to a doctor's appointment expecting to say, okay, you're going to need this medication because your blood sugar is too high. Meanwhile, I'd cut out all the white sugar and white flour out of my diet, and my weight was dropping. Yes, I have lost a pound. So I did that and went to the doctor. I said, okay, what other med I got to start taking now? And he says, your A1C, your blood sugar is down low enough that you have to take it. So I start praising God, and just little things like that have been happening. And then my son calls up, my youngest son calls up, and they all live in Vermont. And he said, he's coming down for Father's Day. I said, well, we can do this, we can do that. They got the Father's Day car show, blah, blah, blah. He says, I have a little surprise for you. I said, what's that? He says, I'm going to take you on a biplane ride over Cape Cod. That's prosperity to me. That's prosperity to me. I was a teacher for 29 years, as some of you were. And it's funny that once you retire, your income actually goes up. About 9-10 years ago, I can't remember what it was, I actually made the decision, because I'd heard over and over again, you should try tithing, try tithing, try tithing. I said, no, I can't afford that. I'm a teacher. I got, at that time, child support and everything else. But I came up here, and after a few years, I said, okay, I'll try it. See what happens. Okay, God, here it is. Things just started coming my way. We were out of town, came back, and there was a check in the mail for $1,500. It was a tax return, but we weren't expecting it right then. And we weren't quite sure if we were going to get that much or not. A week or two after that, I'm still tithing and everything else like that, or a month or so after that. And my wife, Carol, we're not yet married, primarily because, as many of you have been in a situation where you don't get alimony if you get married again, something like that. And she said, well, I can't get married right now. I'll lose my alimony for the next 5 or 6 months. So what happens was, through an intermediary, came to us and said, he says, your ex said, go ahead and get married. I'll meet my obligations. Just stuff started coming. Or I'll pick up, I know it's odd, it's weird, but I'll pick up my checkbook and I'll say, I didn't know I had that much money in there. Where'd that come from? I'll start checking my numbers. Or open my wallet and say, I think I got about $20 in here. And there was more than that in there, a lot more than I expected. Where did that come from? Did somebody put money in my wallet? You know, just nice things just start coming your way. One of the baskets that you collect with back here, because I do the collection a lot, has a little saying in it. It says, God is like a mirror. The reflection changes, but the mirror stays the same. Same thing. You hit a tennis ball off a wall, it comes right back at you. It reflects right back at you. But where you hit it and the angle you hit it and what you do to it determines where it goes and how it's returned to you. The universe, too. What you put out there comes back to you. But what comes back depends on what you put out there. Well, I looked in the mirror and began tithing, and the mirror stayed the same. What I put into the mirror, my tithing and being generous to my church, started reflecting back at me. And it continues to this day, over and over again. And I am thankful.
Well, good morning, everyone. I'm a little shy at speaking, but I felt it was very important to talk about my 3-week experience here. My vision for unity on Cape Cod is this. It's Tony. So I had the album, the CD, and I have a little studio in my basement I call Kindergarten 101, and I started with a pair of scissors, just started cutting away. I love to play with crayons and markers, and I'm not a trained artist, but I love to play with all different artistic medium. So I make my own color paper. I take white paper and I just take colors that I want and I fill it in and cut out letters, and I didn't think about it, but what came out was trust. And that I have a great deal of trust here. I feel safe. What was interesting is that one thing leads to another, so I have the dictionary open. I'm looking at trust. And what was next to trust was truth. And I thought that was so interesting because God is true. Unity is true. I've always been unity. I just didn't know what the word was. I've had unity around me my whole life. And my mother I would call my mom in the morning, every morning at 7 when she was alive. And it was a ritual. And she would read me the daily word. And she didn't know where the daily word came from, except that my sister-in-law sent it to her every Christmas. My partner has had Catherine Ponder's book of The Dynamic Laws of Prosperity and would pick the book up and read things throughout the years. But I had no idea that Catherine Ponder was unity. I had a beautiful career. I was a nurse my whole life. So I've always been ministering to people who are either sick or injured and needed a cheerleader, and that's who I've been for family, friends, and strangers. So unity is, the concepts are not surprising. I've been practicing these concepts my whole life. The last few years of my work life, I had the privilege of working in Boston and renting a room from a lovely woman who said, well, you can take whatever room you'd like to have, Tess. My name's Teresa, but some people call me Tess. And at that time, she was 92. She has her own teeth, doesn't wear glasses, practices and teaches Tai Chi, meditates. She truly lives a unity life. And she would, on a monthly basis, get an article from Catherine Ponder. So I would take her articles and read them. And then it was no surprise that I worked weekends, so I didn't know about Unity on Cape Cod. But then when I stopped working and learned about Unity on Cape Cod, I've been coming here for about a year and a half. I've been a member for just over a month, and this is my spiritual home. So one of the things that I had been working on throughout the winter, playing in my little studio, I've been working on windows. And I called them Dune Shack windows because I've entered a lottery to stay in a Dune Shack. It's been a dream of mine. I didn't know what the windows really represented at the time I started them. You could look at them closer when we're through. But on this page, I put faith, because Unity is faith. And the windows really reflect the light of the Christ consciousness for me. So it's within, it's without, it's within and out. And when I say within, it's the Christ consciousness inside of me, but it's also the Christ consciousness that I see in all of your faces. So it really kind of brings me back to my hippie days, when you didn't have to speak to someone, but you knew you just loved each other. Words didn't matter. That's the same kind of feeling that I get here. That although I love words, they're beautiful, it's more about we're all like-mindedness. We're all here for the same reason. I would say to my family all the time, think good thoughts and say kind, loving words. So I did this 3-week workshop really from love. Pure love is what I did. The Unity Prosperity Prayer. Wow. The power of thought. There's been a lot of metaphors through the artwork, through words. What was surprising to me was that I did the workshop, the workbook, because day one, there was calamity. My partner fell and broke her hip. And I thought, I don't have time for this. There's no way I can do this. But I thought, no, you have to, even more so you need to do this. So it was really fun. I had a lot of fun doing it. And Tony, in your meditation, you really spoke a lot about the Unity Prosperity Prayer. So I won't read it again, but I underlined things that were so important for myself, like aligning myself, my energies, my thoughts, feelings, words, and actions with the Christ consciousness. So the candles, the light, the window, you can look in, you can look out. And really the pure love of Unity on Cape Cod. I understand how important it is for us to have prosperity in many areas of our life. And I respect the financial prosperity of Unity. And same thing was like, okay, well, I don't work anymore. But I've been fortunate that I could write a check. I agree that it's true fellowship, dynamic leadership. Wow. Where can you get all of these beautiful spirits in one room, so willing to share what they've spent their entire lives? So collectively, I don't know, we must have at least thousands of years of wisdom. Where do you get that? Where do you go and have such beautiful, kind, loving words said to you and hearing it said to others? Unity on Cape Cod. So I wanted to say that in the exercise number 1, that I affirm my vision is with alignment of the vision of Unity on Cape Cod. And that is prosperity. Exercise 2, I'm working on that, all of it. I see it as a continuum of my spiritual health. But it is great. I love hearing I'm open to receive my highest good right now. So that's health and wellness. And so what I did was throughout the day, if my thoughts turned in a way that did not serve my highest good, then I stopped and I sang a Unity song. Like we have great music here. So singing songs, saying kind, loving words, visualizing goodness changes your body chemistry. You physiologically change and the happy hormones start pouring out. Who wouldn't want that? What a high. Dopamine, serotonin. I mean, I love that. The other thing that I just affirmed, and I've always known this, is that I want prosperity of wellness for myself and for others. And also that by divine birthright, I am prosperous. I wish Mary Lou was here today because these 12 powerful meditations that she gave us on color, wow, it's nice to meditate on color. I think of Picasso blue. I mean, how beautiful is that? Okay, let's see. People that I've heard about. In Unity, I'll hear someone's name mentioned, and for me, one thing leads to another. So I'm home and I'm Googling people's names and finding out about them and what did they do and what did they think and how did they live their lives. And I've always had an interest in how happy people, what are their daily habits. Exercise 3, to release what doesn't work for me. Oh, I've been for months just needling about a niece. Oh, it was so wrong. And had asked his sister that we stop doing that together. Because really it blocked out a loving relationship with many people because of that. And I have no need to do that. So Liliana and Tony had a workshop last week. And it was really nice because it was on forgiveness and it was the dream. So part of my mantra is I let go of the barrier limiting my prosperity. Exercise 4 was interesting because it helps you to see what you want to be in your life. If you could have that perfect, what is it you want to be and emit to others? And that was really good because it spoke to me about being ready to change. And then I want to change. I am changing. So words like strength and vibrancy, the Christ consciousness helps me to be mindful, to stop and to meditate. It just, to see beauty, to see nature and children. It helped me to set some spiritual goals, like learning more, paying attention, because it's the whole process. I like history, so I like the history of Unity. Exercise 5, to record 5 things for which I'm grateful for that are present in my life every day. Many of them were the same things every day, but it's just beautiful to do that because it's a mindfulness. You see exactly what you have, and body chemistry, the physiological chemistry that changes. On the last day, I left it blank, the 5 things, because it's accumulation of everything I wrote. If anyone would like to look at my workbook, I'm open to that. What did this experience, the exercise, teach me? Well, when I worked as a floor nurse at Deaconess in Boston, when I speak about Unity was always around me. When you would walk in the lobby, it was beautiful stained glass of a nurse, and it says, "Where science and kindliness unite." So I walked in every day reading that, and I got off the elevator with a smile. It also, the exercise helped me to train my brain to a mindfulness mode. And for the most part, I'm in it. But every now and then when I get into a place that doesn't serve my highest good, my recovery time is quicker and quicker. So that part is really good. I really count all my blessings, those that are visible and invisible. I know that prayer does change things. Prayer for me is a song that feeds my soul. I know that this whole process is discipline, patience, and practice counts. Oh, exercise 6 was really about selecting one person a day who throughout the whole day you would send continuous prosperity messages. That was beautiful. That was so beautiful. I was able to put the niece that I was needling. I actually like her. I didn't like myself. That's really why, a certain situation. But that was so great, because sometimes people will come into my mind and for no reason, they just come in my mind. And this really helped me to make an effort to think of them all day and send them that. I love that. So what I put on here was really some of the things that I like the song when we sang All I Need Is Love. All I need is love. And the other thing, my observation was that I desire the spiritual wellness of myself, my family, and loved ones, and that I love and care for people deeply. I impartially love and care for all people and nature deeply. Number 7, exercise 7. 7 was really great, because that really speaks to knowing that giving and receiving a 1, I will give something away to someone else today. And I won't go into what I did, because it's not necessary, but that I did it, and that I desired to do it, and that it was fun to do. And they say if you give, you shouldn't brag about it. What matters is when no one is looking, like what your thoughts are, what your behaviors are when no one is looking. So I want to leave that on that basis. Exercise 8 speaks about tithing. And I have some questions about it that maybe I'll ask someone privately. But what really came out of it is, what is my life worth? Oh, I'm worth 10%. Feeding my soul was definitely worth 10%, and then some. So one of the things that I do, I love to collect and share stories of inspirations and spiritual teachings that do empower abundant and meaningful lives. I love everything that Unity has to say. Love-based, not fear-based. Jesus is the way shower, prayer and meditation. We nurture our spiritual connections with all beings and our earth brothers and sisters. And I wanted to really applaud, hat off to Martha Powers for her earth care ministry here. And I think really that kind of wraps it all up. It was absolute sheer joy. Thank you.
Hello. It's an honor and a joy for me to share my experience of these 3 past weeks. I think the biggest one was the shift in my consciousness, the realization that I am ready to receive, because for so long it was so difficult for me. I'm ready to receive, and I'm ready to give. I actually have a list of the things that happened. The first one is I'm going to Colombia to visit my family and friends for 3 weeks, and I'm going to do a forgiveness workshop with the Course in Miracles group over there, and all of it is paid off. I'm going to start the training with a calmer choice. I'm going to teach mindfulness to children, and I will start next week. And I received a partial scholarship, and we were able to afford the rest with my husband. I'm working in 4 incredible graphic design projects right now that are amazing. I was hired to teach blogging at Falmouth Community School in the fall as well. So if you want to learn blogging, please go there. Even a $600 bill for some medical test that I had, I received the balance last week, and it wasn't $600 but $20 because my second health insurance covered it. Yes, there are more things. We shipped our first box of ink cartridges for Unity on Cape Cod. Finally, we gathered 53 items, a big toner, and all the cartridges. So we are getting there with our video camera for Unity. And of course, I was every day surprised by the love and a gift from my husband in these 21 days. So this is just a manifestation in this form, but the biggest shift had to occur in my mind. And I had to be able to open my arm just to receive. That was all, and that's for all of us. Thank you.
Okay. Does anybody mind if I speak from over here? I'm more comfortable behind my mic stand here. It's where I live. Okay. So, a couple of days ago, Tony asked me to speak to you all about the 21-day prosperity experiment. My reaction was not good. I can't do it. I didn't complete my workbook. I have failed. But I thought, okay, Tony believes in me, and I would love to give back to Unity in some way, and so I went a little deeper. And I thought about what Unity teaches. There is no failure, only opportunity to learn from your current situation, right? So, to those of you, like me, who are sitting there judging yourself for maybe not doing what you set out to do, fear not. You are perfect anyway, perfectly imperfect, just like me. See, the important thing is we showed up. We set our intention 21 days ago to create new and more fulfilling habits, to change our thinking about ourselves and our world, and in doing that, we are already making a difference. Now, living in prosperity is something I can definitely talk about. I am blessed, and that doesn't mean my life has been perfect. In first grade, my house burned down, my father lost his job, and my mother had a mental breakdown at Christmas. So, how did I manage to get through that and become who I am now today? Honestly, gratitude and perspective. When my house burned down, I had seemingly lost everything. But my family, our pets, our love for one another was intact. And therefore, we still had everything. Thank you, God. My mother was often sensitive and reactive, which taught me not to judge others when someone was unkind. Instead, I thought that person must be having a hard time, and I learned to send love to them instead of internalizing a perceived slight. We were not monetarily wealthy, but we were rich in love. What I learned from my experiences, I would not trade for gold. If I had not had those lessons to teach me the value of love and faith, I may not have learned how to pay attention to what was really important in my life. I might have gotten caught up in being successful and never would have pursued my dream of being a singer, because we all know no one makes a living being an artist. Yet, somehow, I've had enough faith to do what I love, and my bills get paid, and my life gets richer, and the more joy and gratitude I express, the more I am given to be thankful for. So, here's my experience with the 21 days. Day 1, I am on fire. I do my workbook after church and share my intention with my boyfriend, and I am so inspired to make a difference in my life and my community that he says he's going to do it with me. Day 2, we do the workbook together at the end of the day and pat ourselves on the back for the gestures of gratitude we performed that day. Day 3, I get busy and completely forget about my intention to write in my workbook, and at the end of the day, I'm tired. I feel like I should have done it in the morning, and so I say a little thank you to the universe and leave it at that. The days following are similar. I think about my intention to do my Unity homework and start to feel guilty that I haven't done it in the way that I would have liked to. But something strange happened. Day 1, I had written on the front cover of my workbook that I would like to manifest more visibility for Unity, because I have truly enjoyed being here with you all, and I would be thrilled to see more people join in our community and reap the benefits of its love. Then I get Tony's word of the day, and I think, gee, I wish I could share this, and my mind starts spinning. I like this. I wish I could like it on Facebook and share it on Facebook. Maybe my friends would like it, and Unity's word of the day could go viral. I want the word of the day to go viral. I also notice Unity's Facebook page does not have the videos that Liliana has worked so diligently to record for us and post to YouTube. So I asked Tony if we can do this. He generously agrees to share his words, and Martha Powers makes him an admin on Facebook. I'm feeling like I did all right after all. We say here that there is no one path that is right for everyone. And I like that, because our diversity makes us beautiful, and sharing our varied experiences is what makes our life so brilliant. I did not do my workbook the way that was laid out for me, but as it turned out, my intention was still powerful enough to get the work done. So, whatever your experience with the 21-day experiment was, I'd like to suggest that it was the right experience for you to have at this time. Who knows what you might have learned from this experiment, or what miracles you might have missed if you were not intentionally paying attention. One of my favorite quotes from Maurice Sendak shortly before he left this realm is this: "Live your life, live your life, live your life." Now, since this is our happy hour, I'd like to propose a toast to prosperity, 21 days and beyond. Thank you.
We're going to sing a song I feel is appropriate for this occasion. It's called "The Truth Will Set You Free." Thank you so much for everything you said, all you guys. And remember, the truth will set you free, and we are sharing our vision of prosperity here and now. When darkness comes upon you and it's hard to see the light, when illusion seems to bind you to a world you cannot fight, when your heart is hurt and frightened and your soul is feeling lost, when your faith in love is shattered and it seems at such great cost, remember, I am the truth and the light, and the truth will set you free, and you shall know the truth, and the truth will set you free. So let your mind be quiet and turn your thoughts to me. I'll give you the keys to the kingdom, the secret to perfect peace. I am the God within you. I am the angel of your good. I am Spirit everlasting. I am the living Word. Remember, I am the truth and the life, and the truth will set you free, and you shall know the truth, and the truth will set you free. If you let your mind be quiet and turn your thoughts to me, I'll give you the keys to the kingdom, the secret to perfect peace. I am the God within you. I am the angel of your good. I am Spirit everlasting. I am the living Word. Remember, I am the truth will set you free. And you shall know the truth, and the truth will set you free. You shall know the truth, and the truth will set you free.
You have been watching the message from our Sunday celebration service here at Unity on Cape Cod, providing a positive path for spiritual living. Please join us every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. at 147 Walton Ave, Hyannis, Mass. And visit us online at www.unityoncapecod.org.